Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. And it's great to be allowed to sit on the soapbox for a little while with you. I will talk for a second, but not much longer, about healthcare reform, because I don't think it is going to be a big issue for our state. And this meeting is about our state, the Commonwealth, the economy, the future, where to push the buttons. And healthcare reform, of course, organizes something. It organizes access in a better way, a fairer way. But it is not the central issue. It is not the opportunity for us. For our state, the opportunity is what did become very visible in the healthcare reform discussion. The opportunity is the demand for better health, the demand for better health, not just here, but around the world. We today cannot treat most of the very expensive, debilitating diseases in an effective way. And no number of new hospitals will allow us to do it better. We need, for Alzheimer's disease, for cancer, for heart disease, for diabetes, we need new solutions. We need a fair way, when we find the solutions, to make these solutions available and to create access. But we need new solutions, breakthroughs. And there is no state in the world that can and will have a bigger impact on that aspect of our health in the future than this state, this cluster, this environment. It's not just an opportunity. It's close to being a responsibility. We have a combination of skills and capabilities here that is truly unique. We take it for granted. We live here. We think it is okay and normal to have MIT, Tufts, Harvard, Northeastern, UMass, all these institutions here, MGH, Brigham, numerous highly competitive academic medical institutions that are good for us when we are ill, but are good for the nation. We are outcompeting every area in this country all the time on NIH contracts, continuously. And when there was a very large amount of money becoming available in the stimulus activities last year, and all the medical institutions, academic institutions were participating for extra NIH money, $20 billion. We outcompeted everybody in the country. And we got a disproportionate share, not because people felt we deserved it, in terms of you're nice people. No. It's merit. Good programs, well thought through programs, the right connections, the right links, the combination, and a willingness to work together that makes those cases. It's an extraordinary thing. It is something that we will never lose because it is so ingrained. And of course I came into this in the 80s when I moved here. It's truly ingrained in this state and it's becoming better. There are more groups now that come together. There is an organization that I was very happy to hear that AIM just joined, the Massachusetts Life Sciences Collaborative, which brings together academic institutions, medical institutions, hospitals, companies, everybody who has an interest in this space on a regular basis and has real programs to learn to communicate and to find the buttons to push, to invest where the opportunities are. There are other organizations like the New England Healthcare Institute that was started some years ago that does remarkable things to create communication capabilities and is sought out by Washington very often to give opinions about how can we get to more innovation, how can we nurture more innovation. And when we talked about healthcare reform for a long period of time, and I spent a lot of time during that long period of time in Washington talking about the aspect that I'm particularly involved in, the innovation aspect, there was nobody who didn't want to listen. And everybody wanted to learn what we in Massachusetts do, as if it is normal part of our lives. Why is this so big? Barry said that a very large number of us are getting old. Hope all of us will get old. And it is not about extending our life, it's to getting old in a healthy way. And to have a good life, getting old. And to have not to suffer from the diseases that I just mentioned, or other diseases like Parkinson's. Or to not watch your partner going through those kinds of complications. This is an inevitable trend. We are moving in that direction, and we are demanding, when solutions become possible, better solutions become possible, to sit by and say, I can't afford that solution because I can't get my act together to get there. It's just not a solution that we will accept. We will become organized to get there, one form or the other. And we will have our complications, of course, on the way. It's something that we have as a fantastic thing to look forward to and have been benefiting by for many years. We are employing, I think, about 460,000 people in this state on healthcare. And that's highly competitive, you would say, on the 6 million base. That's a lot of people in healthcare. And when you look at other states, we have more people employed in healthcare than in any other industry. And the question then, is that a good thing? I hope that in our future we will employ less people in healthcare, but have more health. We employ more people in discovering how we get to more health. So we need less care, less people to take care of people that we can't really treat. And that is a focus that I see increasingly talked about as a very interesting way to deploy long-term resources. But maybe the biggest opportunity lies outside of Massachusetts for us in Massachusetts. The biggest opportunity lies in the world. The world is clearly changed, and there is no really a good way to say, let's look at the history and see how things happened then in order for us to know how to move into the future. We've been treating with modern medicine over the last 50 years, about 1 billion people between North America, parts of Latin America, Europe, Australia, parts Japan, parts of Asia, about 1 billion people if you add up these populations. China, India, and Brazil, Russia, much smaller population, but China and India just by themselves. In the next 25 years, I've been at Genzyme for more than 25 years. I joined there in '83. It was a tiny little company. 26 years. The next 26 years will create massive marketplaces for what we can create in our state. Because China and India, the economies of those countries are moving. And the demand for modern medicine is increasing. And the communication of the availability of modern medicine is inevitable through the internet. It's not something that you have to travel to China to tell people about. They know it. That is not censored in China. And we know it because people contact us. We find rare disease cases in the middle of absolute nowhere because somebody has access to the internet. And a patient or a patient's dad or mother does their own work to find a solution for something they noticed in their child. And we get direct communications. So the demand, when the economies of those countries improve, the demand for modern medicine will follow. And the nice thing is, those systems, those healthcare systems are not saturated like ours are, like the ones in Europe are or Japan are. We have to allocate resources because we are saturated. We have to figure out where to spend the money a reasonable way because it becomes otherwise unaffordable. And it is a tough thing to do because people are involved, self-interest is involved. And the political will to make changes is rough, as we saw in the healthcare reform discussion. And it continues to be rough even in monopolistic healthcare systems like the UK or much of Europe. It's a very tough thing to do. You talk about people's employment. somebody comes up with a treatment for Gaucher disease that makes it obsolete, we will have tens of thousands of people that are deployed currently in that disease, unemployed, or need to be moved on. What a great thing to try and do, indeed, if we are getting there. But it is not simple. And people are people. People look after their jobs. So the political movement to redeploy resources in healthcare is tough. But in those countries, China, India, and Russia, and Brazil, we are seeing a much opener approach. And getting health and products and services that really make an important difference, prioritized in an appropriate fashion, is still, I think, a very reasonable opportunity and reasonable possibility. And we are not on the sideline waiting. I don't think we should be on the sideline waiting in Massachusetts for those things to be solved. We should participate. And it is possible to participate. And the communication between these areas is growing all the time. So I would say healthcare reform by itself, those rules that were developed recently and talked about, are but a moment. And they are a good moment because it focuses on fairness, focuses on access. But really, what we as a state, we as a Commonwealth, can truly participate in and organize for is how much health we are creating in healthcare. And that's what I think is a magnificent piece of our future.